G'day, I'm Murray. This is my backyard, and this is my Babaco, not quite sure how to pronounce it, tree. I was intrigued by this. It's a cross between two types of pawpaw or papaya tree, and it is known as a cold climate pawpaw. That's not a problem I have, but it's interesting that it's been commercially grown in New Zealand, perhaps because normal pawpaws don't do very well there. Okay, I bought this plant, I have planted it, I have grown it, I have tasted the fruit, I have reviewed the fruit, then it had some problems, I've dealt with that, and all of that is going to be addressed in this video, in that order. And on top of that, at the very end of the video, because when I came out here to taste it, it was about 6 o'clock in the morning, there was a magpie interaction and a wallaby interaction. Well, two wallabies. So I'm going to show that as well, but right at the end, basically after the video is finished. I bought it on eBay, $39.50 for a cutting that had been struck in a pot. It arrived on the 20th of March 2024. I prepared a spot. I assumed as it was a papaya cross, it would like slow release lime, so I planted it beside a concrete water tank. The lime leaches out of the concrete into the soil. Prepped the spot, planted it up. There were heaps of earthworms in this particular area. Then I mulched it and left it and watered it and watched it. 6th of November 2024. This is not a very high plant yet, 4 feet. And it's got a ripe fruit. They just seem to get closer and closer to the ground. A nearly ripe fruit. This side gets more sun. I would have thought it would have been a darker colour and it would have been greener in the back. It sure has set a lot of fruit. And it sure is tiny. It's a scotch over navel height. A very interesting tree. I'm enjoying growing it so far. I hope the fruit is okay. This started to smell amazing yesterday. I can describe it as like when you open a mixed bag of lollies. It's almost fruit salad breakfast juice. It's really weird. I didn't want to cut it yesterday because of the green that was still on it, and overnight it started to come up with a little bit of browning, so obviously I should have looked at it last night or yesterday, but I'll know more for the next time. Okay, expecting 0 seeds. If there's seeds, I was ripped off. This whole thing is sloping a little bit that way to try and get a good camera angle. So if anything rolls off, okay, no juice. Now, this is probably edible pulp. Is it worth the effort? That's odd. Fruity, flavourful, a little tangy. I think I should scrape that off. I'll try the skin in a minute. I'm just going to try the fruit. It's like there's passion fruit in there and a bit of kiwi fruit. Can't taste anything resembling pawpaw. It's not sweet. It smells super sweet, but it's not sweet. Slightly acidic. It's just oozing juice everywhere. Mmm. That's worth the wait. The sun's just up there, so it's a bit tricky. Put that over there carefully. Okay, you can eat the skin. That's good from the perspective of the juice doesn't all escape. The skin adds a bit of a chewy texture to it, but it's not unpleasant. I don't mind the skin. There seems to be no texture to the flesh. It's like you're chewing a drink. Just dripping a bit. Wow, this is a novel fruit. Try another bit without the skin. I don't know what's better, with the skin or without the skin. Be interesting in a fruit salad because it's a lot like a fruit salad. It's actually got a bit of an acid tail to it. You sort of notice how acidic it is. Odd that it smells incredibly sweet and isn't. I wonder if these are vestigial seeds. I thought I had seen a video, I must be misremembering, I'd seen a video and I don't recall there being anything inside it except some liquid. There are little white seeds in there, and they're not fertile. I'm pretty sure they'd probably be black and larger if they were fertile. Okay, super juicy. Sorry for all the slurping sounds, a bit rude, but there you go. I'm going to get this in the fridge. 13th of November. Since I took a piece of fruit off this plant, it seems to have gone downhill quite suddenly. It's been dropping fruit and its leaves have yellowed. I mean, there is a spider web around here, but I think that's just going to prevent mites and small insects from attacking tender leaves. What is going on? I mean, we've gone from consistent fruit, there we go, just touched it, mustn't have wanted it, to this is very odd. I don't know whether okay, I could take some fruit off it, but it might drop as much as it needs to drop to survive. I'm tempted to give it some organic nitrogen fertilizer just in case, but I'm going to have to do some research first. I have just stripped all the fruit off this Babaco, or however it's pronounced. I'm hoping that will encourage it to live. It was a lot of fruit for a tiny little tree, but it seemed to be coping up until I took that first piece of fruit off it. Okay, fingers crossed. And a couple of these might ripen. I'll take the bigger ones. It's early January and it's done quite well since I removed that massive amount of fruit off it. It's leafed back up, it's got 2 on and probably a third about to set. But mainly it's thickened up nicely. It was a very small plant to have a huge amount of fruit on it. And I didn't go with the fertiliser option because I read these don't like too much nitrogen. What are we here? 4 feet tall. Lower rib cage. So that's us up to right now. End of January 2025. A lesson for the future might be, off a small plant, remove maybe 2/3 of the fruit, or even more. That's been my experience so far. I'm looking forward to trying to strike cuttings. I will do a video of that when the time comes. It's going to be a while though, because I'm not about to chop this up. And yeah, it's an interesting plant. Okay folks, that's all for now. Have a good one. I was just coming out to do a taste test. They are so pretty. I didn't spot a little baby. I hope you saw it. Just packing up. Handsome showed up with, well, there's a second one on the right somewhere. Since it's 6:30 in the morning, it's a bit too early for a bale. They really like those tomatoes, the old tomato bushes. What are you doing with 2 chicks? Does that mean there's 2 boys? Or will we find out when they get larger? Yeah, just packing up. This is why my backyard is cool. The Wallabies, I'm sure they're still around. The Wallabies, the Magpies, the kangaroos. It's just a cool backyard.